Industry fail at the finale. Hey everybody, Walty Wanderers, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoat it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. Let's jump back on the moto merry-go-round and examine the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly.
No, Walty, not the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine and red flag restarts.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look. Between the ruts, we got some ruts to look through today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. Now, what's not doing so great is the industry. They did their best to try to hype what was already a wrapped-up championship. And my hat's off to them for giving it as decent of a shot as they could. But some of this stuff is borderline for me. And let me know in the comments below. Painful to watch. Like, what's his name? Mike Politeri or something like that, an AMA official or MX Sports. I don't even know who he works for. I don't really care. He doesn't belong on the show. And you see when these guys get presented their championship trophies, like the riders just like especially Deegs. He's like, doesn't he want to look at the dude? We'd like on the behalf of this and then the organization to present you with the, like, it's all about the dude doing the presenting. Like, dude, get some Monster Energy chick up there. Back in the day, that's what we had. Hot chicks. Even our girl Haley, bless her heart. I mean, she's not that much better or worse than Will Christensen. In terms of, like, they always cut away from the racing action to, like one of you guys were saying, to talk about what somebody had in their ice chest out in the parking lot. I mean, it's like has nothing to do with the racing. It's just like we're trying to give these people some TV time. Now, other than Bubba and Weege, you know, maybe a close second, really, I believe JT is kind of emerging. Like, he said some things that kind of really resonated with me. Like, I was like, not bad, JT. Like, he's clearly getting comfortable in his position. He said that basically Deegs is racing against ghosts at this point. And that was a pretty good analogy, right? A pretty good perspective, because at this point, really, he's racing, and he was kind of saying trying to race against, you know, other guys that came before him. Sure, I guess on one hand he is, but really what he's doing is he's racing against 450 riders that he hasn't met yet, namely Jet Lawrence. That's the only thing on Danger Boy's mind right now. Now, he's trying to be Danger Boy. Here's the thing where Danger Boy is different. He's different in a lot of ways, but I think one of the biggest things that he's different at is psychological warfare, right? He runs his mouth quite heavily. I think somebody compared him kind of like the modern day J-Law. And he is, in a sense, other than the fact that Danger Boy Deegs is actually probably going to have a pretty successful 450 career. But for all intents and purposes, that is, in fact, what Danger Boy is doing. He's racing against ghosts. Now, what I will say is Danger Boy put the hammer down in Moto 2. In Moto 1, and even in the last race, he clearly was in a little bit of preservation mode. I'm sure his dad, Brian Deegs, the general of the militia, was like, bro, just ride, you know, cautious. Just bring this thing home, right? Just bring this thing home. Because he knows that kid is just basically like trying to contain lightning in a bottle. That kid only knows one speed. And you know, that's what he wants to do. So I think he was having a hard time because he's basically, right now, he knows he's trying to measure himself against Jet Lawrence. Now, Jet Lawrence, the Wonder Boy, the Chosen One, the Moto Messiah, the Gazelle, the Alien, has got a completely different riding style. He is really efficient, and I'm pretty sure he just gave Hunter that second moto win. I mean, I think if he really wanted to, he could have chased him down and took the win. He gave his brother a bone. And hats off to him for doing that. There is nothing wrong with that. Now, many of you guys might be saying, no. Hunter won that moto straight up. He beat him. I don't think so. Now, Jetson didn't really have anything to race for. The championship's already won. The overall's already in the bag. So he really had nothing to lose or gain. And in fact, even if there was an overall on the line, I think he still probably would have let his brother taken it. But chances are he might not. But the reality is this. Danger Boy Deegs is, in fact, measuring himself. Like JT said, he's racing against Jetson's ghost. It's all about get me to the 450 class. I want to race this dude. And I really believe Danger Boy wants to get there, race that dude. He needs to get there and race that dude because at this point, it's like just boring for the kid out there. Now, SMX should be fun. There's all this hype about Steal the Show Joe, who's kind of like average Joe again. In fact, he's just the second fastest guy. Dude's still very fast, and he could, in fact, maybe we get to SMX, have something for Danger Boy, but I didn't see it today. I see Danger Boy now with that pressure off his back, ready to rock. He's got an axe to grind, and really what he's silently saying without using words, without saying Jetson's name is, I'm coming for Jetson. And I need to smoke these guys the way Jetson's smoking the field over on his end. And that's what I'm pretty much seeing. So going into the playoffs, it should be interesting. A lot of guys, like we heard AP in his interview saying he's not even sure if he will be at the playoffs. This is bad for KTM. All their riders, well, they only had a 250 effort today. And Beaumer and Vial went out. I mean, they had disastrous races. Sexton's decided he isn't racing. And Cowie, I mean, with Prado dropping anchor the way he did, somebody is saying, another one of you bros that message me all the time, they're like, yeah, dude, Prado basically, he's just showing whatever team that he's going to race for next is, what he can do. I'm sure he's probably even to a circle watch. I'm going to go out and get a great start. If I'm not feeling it, I'm going to just fade. Or I don't know. Like he's packing it in. Now, I don't know who's going to grab him, if anybody, here in the States. But I would be really nervous about Prado right now. Yes, he can start. Yes, he had like a top 10 finish. But the fact that he's throwing anchor the way he is on a regular basis pretty much is not good. It did not look good again. We got George Prado back for sure. Now, I don't know what's going on. I think they should have kept Anderson's not even going to do the playoffs. He is so finished with Cowie. Cowie's got to. They're just buying time until Chase comes to town. That is it. And I mean, right now, I think the public, the moto community, has already made up Cowie's mind that George isn't going to last there. Because even if they wanted to keep George, I don't think they can now, because of the moto community now making this into a story, actually a rightfully so story for sure. Now let's move on to another thing that popped out for me. And again, if you're new, get subscribed, jump on board, get into the comments, throw on an open face. The roost tends to fly in there. Beast mode. Beast mode is seriously bust mode. I'm a little concerned about beast mode finishing. I think he's probably looking at potential retirement again. I think he's probably contractually, he's a pretty stand-up dude, and he will fulfill his contract. Plus, it's a lot of money to leave on the table if he is probably to pull the plug. I don't know what that contract has in it. I'm sure he would lose money. But right now, he's said, as long as he thinks he can win, he will stay out there. He clearly is not looking like a guy that can win anymore. He looks like a guy that's done. Now, if he changes his tune, which he's more than has the right to do, he might come out and say, as long as I'm a podium guy, I'll stay out there. Because that's really what he's looking at. But based on that second moto, the other thing about the track, it was full of ruts, but it's super one-lined. It was a boring base track. Other than that little mini Larocco's Leap that they had on there, there wasn't a whole lot it wasn't a very fun track to watch. It was super one line. A lot of disasters. Cole Davies, what he inherits a moto win in Moto 1, but then he comes out and he can't move through the field in Moto 2 after getting done saying in Moto 1 on the podium, when it looked like he was just a podium guy and not the overall winner. With all intents and purposes, he was. But then on the podium, he says, yeah, I'm not just a supercross guy, which is great. I mean, he rode great in Moto 1. Something happened in Moto 2. Now, again, really, how much do you want to risk at this last round when there's not a whole lot to gain? I mean, the industry tried its best. The booth was told clearly, do your best to hype up the playoffs and who's in a championship, points battle to make the gates and avoid the LCQs or the wild card rounds, as they like to call it, because then it looks like football, right? They're trying to use a lot of buzzwords. Football, playoffs, wild card round. It's not. It's moto. This is not football. I don't care what you call it. It's insanity to me. Insane. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a moto guy that wants to see you not only win on the track, off the track. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. They're shark infested. Budds Creek, welcome to the swimming pool. This was a little bit sketch. Red flag fest, again, we're just throwing them flags out instantly. Back in the day, we would not have red flagged Beaumare's crash. It wouldn't have happened. Is it a good thing we're doing it? Probably. I get it. In fact, it does throw a little bit of a wrench in the program. Right now, it's all about SMX. A lot of people need to show up for this SMX round. Namely, I think Eli. Eli's really got to step it up in the SMX and have some good rounds. I think it can. This could play into Eli's hand at the SMX rounds. I think he'll do good on these hybrid style tracks where it's open and much more passing available, where he can unleash beast mode. But there's a lot of question marks moving forward. Like I said, if you're new, get subscribed, jump on board. A lot to blow apart this week. But in the meantime, Walty will be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there. Along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Don't go over the bars. God bless. And I'll see you on the next video.